Hello, it is the 31st of December 2015 and I thought I would do a quick, I think I thought I would do a moderately lengthy, we'll see how it turns out, video looking back at 2015. I did one last year, I can't even remember, didn't go back to look at it or anything like that, but it's nice to kind of reflect on the year a little bit. For me, 2015, as far as my life goes, it's kind of one of those life vlogs, and not very interesting. I'm not going to have time to put clips up or anything like that, but it's one of those life vlogs just talking about, stuff I did in my life, but also I'll talk about the channel as well, and at the end I'll give you a little taste of where the channel is going in 2016. How's that sound? So, this guy, don't even ask. But I would say that like 4 things happened this year that I had no idea would happen on January 1st, 2015, and they are 4 really cool, incredible things, I would say. So, you always get the people who say, I can't wait for the new year, can't wait to see the end of last year, it sucked, For me, 2015 was a fantastic year, for me personally. Not to be selfish, but, 4 things, right. Well, number 1. This isn't something that I achieved or anything like that, so I'll go to this one first. I went to see David Gilmour in September, and I still have videos of me talking about that to put up as part of the Epic Journey 2, which is just kind of like a little vlog series, nothing special, even though that's kind of the joke, the Epic Journey. It's not really an epic journey, but it was, for me, an epic journey. And I still got to kind of edit those videos and get them up. I'll do that in January will be like a kind of catch-up month. I've got to get my 2015 complete Blu-ray collection overview series like finished and put up so it's done, even though it'll be released in 2016, which bugs me, but whatever. I'll get that done and finished. And what else is there? Yeah, and then that one, the Epic Journey 2, and then there's other things I need to finish in 2016. So, anyway. I went to see David Gilmour live, and it was, I think, March, April, something like that. The tickets came out, and I thought, well, there's no chance I'm going to get them because they're so expensive, and you have to get them straight away. They sell out quickly, and Connie, she got me tickets. She got me some decent tickets. As it turned out, well, I'm not even going to go into it because I talk all about it in the Epic Journey 2. So if you want to hear more about David Gilmour, you can check that, those videos out, the ones that have already gone up and the ones that will go up probably in January. Now, the Epic Journey 2, well, no, forget the video series, but going to see David Gilmour. It was something that I've wanted to do for the past 7 years, and I even said on a Facebook post 7 years ago I would die happy after seeing David Gilmour live. He is my favourite musician of all time, and to be able to see him play music for 2.5 hours was unbelievable, and I'll never forget that, and I'll forever be grateful to Connie for getting me that for my birthday this year. Just an amazing experience. It was so good, and he was just sublime. Honestly, he was brilliant. And I'm glad he didn't disappoint, but he did even more than that. He surprised me, for sure. His guitar playing, his singing was fantastic, just brilliant. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of bum notes here and there when he was singing, he's nearly 70 now, but the guitar playing was just unbe-fucking-lievable. So that was just one of those once-in-a-lifetime things. I know that he seems to be enjoying touring again. It's been almost 10 years since he toured, which is why I thought I'd never get to see him play, but he's doing more dates next year. It's possible I could see him play live again. I almost don't want to, though. I almost want that night in the Royal Albert Hall to just be that one moment. There's something special about that to me. And considering how much it costs to go and see him, that's probably going to be the case anyway. So that was one thing out of the 4 things. I think it's 4 that, were really emblematic of a great year for me. So where can we go from there? Let me think. I'm trying to think what the third one. I had 4 things in my head before I started. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Well, this one is the least, I suppose, but it was special to me. The next thing is I got to wrestle another match. I used to be a backyard wrestler way back when, like in the early 2000s. I travelled all around the UK, I've talked about it before, just wrestling for fun, meeting people from online and stuff, and I've formed some great friendships that while we don't speak very often, there's always that bond that's going to be there. That the wrestling that we went through and all the good times we had and the bad times we had and everything else in between. And I hadn't wrestled since 2011. That was my last match, and even then that was like me coming back after a couple of years. So I hadn't been regularly wrestling for 6 years, hadn't had a match in 4 years, And so I was going to come back and do one more match with a guy who I really respected and admired. He was a UK backyard wrestling legend like 10 years ago, one of the best. And I was talking to him. I started up doing this podcast called Back to the Yard, where me and my friend Alex, who was also a backyard wrestler, we talked to other guys that we used to wrestle, friends and things, and reminisced on a podcast. And it was awesome. And we're still going to do some more of them, but it was really the beginning of 2015 we started doing those. And I was talking to this guy Dan, who's the guy I wrestled, and you know, it was great talking to him, catching up with him. Always liked him a lot, and we got on quite well. And then I said to him, you know, there's this big event coming up in the summer. Do you want to do it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And he'd wrestled, I think, a couple of years ago, so he was still kind of coming back every couple of years. And I was like, okay, this is like a dream match I've always wanted. Let's do this. And so I had to put the work in. I had to lose weight. You know, over the years I've gotten a bit of a gut and gotten a bit heavier, so I decided I was going to have to really concentrate on losing weight. So I did that. I lost a stone and a half. Still wasn't thin, but I, you know, definitely lost a lot of weight that was going to make it easier for me to wrestle again. And you know, I had a lot of fun building up the match. There's this private Facebook group where all the guys who used to wrestle, some of them still do actually, but you know, all the guys from the backyard wrestling part of our lives. There's a private Facebook group. And on there, I made a fake account, and I was even like the name of the fake account meant something, and I was posting these cryptic Photoshop things and cryptic 10-second videos and things that was like ridiculously edited, and people were like wondering who it was and trying to figure out the clues, the backwards speech and the numerical code, and it was so much fun to see people and then to kind of prod people in different directions. Oh, it might be him, and it was so much fun. And then it was revealed that it was me, and it kind of went went downhill a bit. But I started doing promos. I went out to this abandoned village and shot some cool kind of interesting location promos, which I was really proud of, and you know, for the most part I think were pretty good. But it built up the match so much that I thought maybe I'm not going to be able to deliver. So the day came. It was my 27th birthday as well, so I'm always going to remember that. And it wasn't a great match. I don't know, maybe it was a great match, but I would say that it was at least a very good match. And that's all I really needed to do, because I kind of just wanted to see if I could do it again. You know, and I got hurt early on, which was a shame. Not badly, but just hurt to the point where it was hard to get through the rest of the match. But, you know, I don't think we stunk up the place, which is great. And we had the crowd there as well, and you got to remember that this is a different crowd. This is the guys who do it now. And they kind of knew who we were, but they didn't really, most of them. You know, but they showed us respect, and they were chanting and stuff and making noise, and at the end, you know, they were clapping, and it was kind of emotional to me, even though they weren't kind of clapping. Well, I suppose it was a sign of respect, but it just seemed maybe that like going through the motions kind of thing, because again, they don't really know who I am. But to me, it just felt like a nice little kind of nod, like, yeah, that was a good match, and you know, well done kind of thing, at the very least. And to wrestle a guy like Dan in my very last match, that's it. I'll never wrestle again. A guy like him who was just so good. I mean, just as soon as I stepped in there with him and we started wrestling, I just knew, I could tell why he was that good. He just had it, you know, more than I did, and so I was barely hanging on. But you know, it was a special day, and yeah, and it was good seeing other people, like old friends who turned up as well, and it was kind of bittersweet in a way too, because it was like the past and the future, and it was really like, okay, it's their thing now, it's not our thing anymore. We were kind of the nostalgia play, really, but it was a special moment for me this year, so that was something I'll always, you know, remember, and was a high point of the year for me. The third thing is that I started getting editing jobs, which again was something I never thought would happen this year, at the beginning of the year. Same thing with the wrestling match. That was never a part of my plan. I never planned on wrestling again, even though I said to myself, if any of the three Dans, if there's a chance to wrestle any of the three Dans, I'll try and take it. And he was one of them. There's two other Dans I haven't wrestled who are both amazing, and Dan McCarvey, Dan Selby, but that'll never happen. But anyway, I got to wrestle one of the Dans. I know a lot of Dans in my life, actually. There's tons of them, but yeah. What was I talking about? Editing job. Yeah, so I got this job with Arrow Video, which I did, and it kind of went okay. I felt like they were a bit hard to communicate with, and as a result, it seems like they're not going to work with me moving forward. It was a bit difficult. I could talk about that more in depth maybe if someone wants to hear about it. I'm cool to talk about it, but it went okay. I got paid for the job and everything, but I felt like the project wasn't that. It was difficult to kind of make it stand out as a good editing job. I think what they required didn't really. I didn't need to flex my editing muscles very much, and so I don't think I impressed them. That's probably why they're not contacting me anymore. But it was a start. And then I got a gig on a website which I'd been following since I was a teenager, and so it was really cool to get to work with that website, and I'm still doing it now. I have a monthly gig over there, and so that's really cool. I have a paying monthly video editing job making movie videos. I got paid hundreds of dollars to make Star Wars videos in 2015. That is, to me, I mean, it ain't the big time, it ain't big bucks, it ain't, you know, and it still isn't enough to kind of be called a proper job. But I'm earning some money, and it's, they always say, you know, find what you love and then find a way to get paid to do it. Or, you know, find a way to get paid to do something you would have done for free anyway. And honestly, you know, I probably would have done some of the videos I've made for them for my own channel. You know, now I'm getting paid to do things like that, and it's pretty damn cool, I have to say, and I'm quite proud of myself for getting to that point, and I hope that 2016 can only be expansive in that area. So yeah, that was pretty fucking cool to me, I have to say. I'm quite proud of myself there, that I managed to sell myself, you know, pitch an idea, get it to them, and work with them and stuff, and make it happen. And 3 of the videos that I've released so far have been really good in terms of views and stuff. One of them didn't do too well, but that's just the way it goes. So I'm really happy with how it's gone so far. And then finally, the 4th thing is I wrote a book. Almost. I wish I could have said in this video I finished it, but I haven't finished my book. November I did National Novel Writing Month. I've talked all about that. If you want to hear more about that, go and check out my NaNoWriMo vlogs. I did, I think, 4 of them throughout the month, so you can go check all that out if you haven't seen it. And if you have, then you already know the story. So I wrote a book. Well, I wrote most of a book in November. I wrote 86,000 words. 50,000 words is kind of a standard short novel, so I'm up to about 86,000. I'm sure I'm going to cross over 100,000 words. I just need to finish it, basically, and then it's the first draft, and then I'm going to spend 2016 rewriting it, editing it, going back, doing all the kind of little finishing touches and things, and then hopefully start the road to getting it published in 2016, because I would love to get it properly published. These days anyone could self-publish a novel. You know, that's you can do that. It's very, very easy and possible without really spending anything. But I want to try and actually get it published, because that is a dream of mine that I've had before I started dreaming of making movies. That was my big dream, was I want to write a book and I want to see it on a bookshop, on a bookshelf. Even if it's just a small thing, it's like, oh, there it is, just at the back of the shop. That is such a dream for me. Not to have paid someone to put it there, but to have someone say, yes, I want to, you know, I want to publish that book, and blah blah blah. And it's nothing to do with money either, just the satisfaction of knowing that it's out there, and that, you know, in the future someone could just pick it up from a bookshop and read it. That is exciting to me. Whereas if you put it out online, you know, the only way most people are going to see it is if you say, hey, here's my book, go and buy it. And I'm sure many people would. I'm sure some of my subscribers would go and buy it and stuff, but my first priority is to try and actually get it published, after I've finished the book, of course. But yeah, I think in January I'm going to concentrate on finishing the first draft, and it really is within reach. I know exactly where the beats are going, and that's the great thing about it. It just dropped into my lap one morning in bed, just a fully formed story, pretty much from start to finish. And then I just fleshed it out, and it was so easy. And actually writing the book wasn't easy. You know, the majority of it I've done so far. I'd say I've finished about 80% of the book, and I'm very confident in being able to finish it. It's just that after November I was so burnt out because I was making my Star Wars review, which is the most in-depth editing job I'd ever done. I was also editing my Silent Movie Marathon 2, which is a 9-hour video. I was also working on my next 2 video editing jobs as well as writing an 86,000 word book. So November wiped me out completely. I think I watched like 2 films that month. And so for December, I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish the book. I'm gonna keep writing through December. Didn't happen at all. I mean, I really needed that break. I really, really needed that break. But I'm really looking forward to bumping up now in 2016, getting that thing. And I want to write another book in November, you know. I want to write a book about my backyard wrestling days, so I might do that in November. We'll see what happens. That's been a work in progress for years, and that's something I want to do and have put down on paper as well. So yeah. those are 4 things that happened to me in 2015 that were just incredible, and I had no idea would happen and be done by the end of 2015. It just goes to show you never know what's around the corner, and you got to chase things as well. Now, yeah, I could be doing a lot better for sure. I could have a full-time job, that would be fantastic, but I don't. There's all these things that, you know, and Patreon, I had Patreon as well, which I was very reticent about using, but people have been supportive on there, and that's been really, really touching as well, to be honest. Not to get wanky about it, but the fact that people would, you know, put a bit of money towards me for the channel every month is really kind of awesome, I think. I managed to buy a new hard drive so I could make more videos and that kind of thing, and it's yeah, anyone who has supported me on Patreon, even if they did it for just a month and then dropped out, you know, I want to thank everyone who did that and who continues to do that. I really appreciate it, and you know, I try to be good with the rewards and making videos and stuff. I do slack on that, I have to admit. Jody Wood, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I need to get to those video reviews for you, man. But you know, you shouldn't have to, but I kind of need to kick up the arse to remember to do these things, you know. That's the only thing with it. And on my Patreon page, I keep posting things, and there's no one really seems to comment on them or anything. So I don't know if the things I'm putting out there as special incentives are enjoyable for the Patreon. But yeah, I just don't know. No one really comments back on Patreon.com. Maybe it's because they don't realize it's there or something. I'm not sure. But I try and post, you know, bonus videos that I don't post on this channel and stuff like that. But yeah, I try and do. Okay, let's be honest. I don't do my best. But I try and do at least a decent job of giving back in that sense. But yeah, all I need is a kick up the arse, and I'll get back onto that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I had, outside of those kind of personal, those 4 kind of personal things, even though one of them wasn't really something I achieved, it's just something that I was able to do because of Connie. There's been so many other great things that have been awesome this year. My YouTube channel. 24-hour movie marathon 4, you know, 4.5 hour long video and people actually watched it. Silent movie marathon 2, 9-hour video, people watched it. You know, I made quite a few videos I was quite proud of this year. A couple of reviews, my Mad Max review, my Castle of Cagliostro review, my Star Wars Episode 1 review. I think is the best video I've done in terms of editing. Very, very proud of that one. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. What else is there? I mean, there's all sorts of things. I mean, I guess those are the big ones that I did this year. But I've been making a lot of videos this year. Continued the Yes Trip series, which I really need to finish. I don't know if there's anything else that big that I did on YouTube. But I've just enjoyed continuing to be a part of the community and all that kind of thing. Yeah, what else is there? I mean, I went. You know, I had a nice trip in July. I went up to North Wales. Visited family I hadn't seen in 20 years. That was very, very cool to me. Kind of resurrected an old tradition of playing cards with my nan and granddad. So actually just a few days ago, me, my mum, my nan and my granddad played a 2-hour game of cards, and it was brilliant. We have so much fun. We laugh so much, all 4 of us, playing that game. So little things like that. I continued my family interviewing kind of project. I've now interviewed both my nans, my dad, and now my granddad. I never thought I'd be able to get my granddad to sit down and talk, but it was brilliant. I did it about a week ago, and it was fascinating, some of the stuff, because he's really into his family history and stuff, and hearing about his dad and his dad's dad, all that kind of stuff was, especially a story about his dad, was unbelievable. It was like a film. I was like, Jesus Christ. You alright? I'm just filming a video. So yeah, that was great to get that done, because now I have all the grandparents down, you know, and that was where that whole idea came from, was having a dream of my grandpa, who passed away many, many years ago. I had a dream that I was talking to him as a teenager, and he was telling me about his life, and I was like, hang on, let me grab my camera. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, I didn't do it, you know. And even though if I had a choice, he would be the #1 person I would want to film and have an interview with and have stories on film, I thought to myself, well, let's not take the people I have around now for granted. And so, yeah, I've done that now. I've done one with both my nans, my granddad. I could probably get more out of them, but I think that's probably all I'll do, really. Although my granddad said, anytime you want to hear anything else, feel free. So maybe I'll do another one with him next time. My dad I definitely want to do more with, but it's very hard to get him down. I did one with him on Boxing Day last year, so it's been a year since the one I did with my dad, and we only got it to about the time he was a teenager, really. and there's so many things I'd like to talk to him about. But again, getting him to sit down in a place for longer than 5 minutes, let alone 2 hours, is very difficult. So I don't know about that. And I keep trying to do them with my mum, but her mind changes a lot, and she'll feel like doing it, and then she'll be like, oh, I just want to go to bed, or oh, I'm too distracted, and all this kind of thing. So I'll get on with my mum done eventually. And yeah, right. So I don't think there's much more to say really. It's been a cool year. That's all I'll say. And Christmas was nice. That's something I want to talk about actually. Jolly Studio One, Joel, YouTuber. Go check him out if you haven't seen him. He did like a Christmas series this year, which I was really enjoying. I need to catch up on the last few that he did. And he made a video a couple of days ago saying that he was kind of a little bit, it was a bit of a down ending really. He said it wasn't, but it kind of was, where he felt like the feeling he had as a kid when it came to Christmas was kind of lost. And I kind of relate to that a lot, because the older you get, the more Christmas just feels like another day. But at the same time, I've been quite lucky, because when I was, how old was I? 17? I was 17 when I had a brother for the first time. I had a brother before I was born, but he passed away. But so for the first time after 17 years, I had, you know, a sibling, and by the time I was 17, 18, that's when it starts becoming more like just another day, you know. Maybe a few more years, you know, early 20s, I don't know. But yeah, at that transitional period, I didn't really lose the feeling of Christmas, because every Christmas morning, I'd see my little brother getting really excited about presents and stuff, and so I kind of would get caught up with that. And so it never really lost its, oh, he's gone down. It never really lost its Christmas feel to me. And now I have a little sister as well. She's 6, and so, you know, this Christmas was still great because of the kids and stuff. But at the same time, there was a death in the family this Christmas, and so there was a very kind of not even bittersweet, just almost bitter feeling to Christmas. It was just sad, you know. And so I had a very kind of weird Christmas this year. It was nice spending time with family. I enjoyed that a lot, and seeing the kids and stuff. But there was that part of it that was just like, you know, here's these lives of my brother and sister that are just starting, and then another life ends, and it's just very sad. But it's the way of things, I guess, and it's the. But yeah, I think, Joel, you might find that it changes for you in the future if you have kids and stuff like that. I don't know if you have any younger people in your family who you can kind of see the Christmas spirit in on your Christmas day or whatever, but it's interesting because it does lose its childlike innocent feel the older you get, I think. But then it depends when you have kids, or if you have younger members of your family who you can kind of vicariously live through in a way. So yeah, I wanted to mention that very briefly. I was going to do a video response, but I thought I'd just throw it into this video. And then finally, my channel, what to expect in 2016. I'll be continuing the road to episode 8. I will finish the Yes Trip, the American vlog series, which the trip was in 2014. I joked at the time that it would take me years to finish it, and it's taken years now, so that'll be finished. I'll try and get the last few of the Blu-ray collection update videos done. There's a big massive cinema series coming. There will be a month, a themed month, where every day in the month there'll be a video about a certain, I'll say it, director. Okay, that's coming. What else is there? There's going to be 24-hour Movie Marathon 5, Silent Movie Marathon 3. Yeah, there's a few things coming. What else? I'm sure there's something else as well, but I don't know. But with my channel, I have plans. Sometimes they fall through, sometimes they don't. The Razor Reviews Batathon Returns was kind of a bit of a failed thing for me, I think, last year. I enjoyed starting it, but it felt like not a lot of people were watching or interested, and so I kind of lost my enthusiasm for it. It kind of waned a little bit, and so I'm not sure if I'll come back to that. I might do. It's there. I can jump in and do part 9 whenever I want, I guess. I mean, I could just do it as and when I feel like it. Let me know what you think about that, but there's that. And I'll probably be doing live streams on PS4 as well. And what I'm going to do with that is, if I play a game like Star Wars Battlefront, which is just a multiplayer game, I'll stream it live on YouTube, I'll chat to people on the chat and everything, and then I'll unlist it once it's done, so it doesn't clog up the channel, and I'll put it into a playlist, which you can find on my channel page, and you can see all the Battlefront streams in a playlist, and they're unlisted, but you can see them there. But if I do something that's like a story, like a playthrough of a game, I'll keep it up on the channel. And I have quite a few ideas of what games I can play, but that'll just be I'm not going to announce them or anything. Just, you know, if you're on YouTube and you see that I'm live, you can pop in and, you know, have a chat with me and watch me play a game, whatever. It's kind of fun that you can do it through YouTube now. Anyway, that is it for now. That was 2015, I guess, very briefly, and yeah, I have no idea what's coming in 2016. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of 2016 if as many things happen that I had no idea would happen that are as cool as the things that happened in 2015. You know, you never know what's coming around the corner. So thank you for watching. Happy New Year if you see this before midnight, and yeah, have a good one in 2016, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
I am called King Computer.